It's happening. Hello, magical ones. Welcome to the 2023 Unbound Book Writing Challenge. I am just gonna, what am I gonna do? Oh, I just wanna tag everyone. I'm gonna do it on my phone, but it's not. Is it gonna let me do it? Is it? I don't know. I'll try and do it on my phone. If you are here with me live, say hello. I am just gonna tag everyone in this live so that they can see. Yay, Diana's here. Hopefully I'll be able to see the comments here on my desktop. There we go, tag everyone. Because sometimes Facebook is really weird and it kind of hides videos and lives from people. Yes, give me some hearts, give me some love. The reason I ask that, well, any emoji, like really, that you want to give, because what that does is it lets Facebook know that people want to see this video and it will make sure that people get to see it, which is what we want. Yay! So excited. So excited. So it's not showing me your comments on my desktop, so I will look at my phone and try and keep up, and I will come back afterwards to catch up with anything that I've missed. Oh, hello everyone. I see Carrie's here, Clara, Diana, Diane, Sally, Yolanda, Terry, Carly Joe, yay! Oh, look at you all. Jude, Anne, Emma, Anna, Melissa. Oh my goodness, so many, so many. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look, I can just get completely caught up in the chat. And yeah. And then not share anything at all with you, which is not my intention. We are getting started on day one of the 2023 Unbound Book Writing Challenge. It is so blooming exciting. Can you tell that I'm a little bit overexcited? I haven't quite known what to do with myself today. I've just been, yeah, ridiculously like a kid on Christmas morning or something, waiting for their presents. And here we are. We are beginning. So welcome, welcome, welcome to this 3-day journey that we are about to go on together. In fact, you know, it's already started, hasn't it? Because people have been connecting in the group and sharing here in the group, sharing your magic, letting us know some more about your book or books, about what you're feeling called to write, and whether you are an experienced author who already has a book out in the world, or you are right at the beginning of your journey. Like, this is the perfect place for you, whatever stage you are at. I know some are right at the beginning, some have already started to write their books. Maybe you're here and thinking of Rachel Hayward because she's wanting to complete her book. It is all good. You will get something powerful out of this experience. So so I would love to know how you are feeling right now as we are beginning this journey together. Give me one word that lets me know how you are feeling and pop it in the comments. And I'm going to be looking at my phone so I can see your comments, and also at the actual camera, hopefully. Oh, Terry, you're saying the connection is choppy. Hopefully that's not the case for everybody. Because Jude, you're saying you're feeling newness. Sally, anticipation, Yolandi, optimistic, and a big hug, hello, and right back at you. Right back at you, missus. And inspired, Diana, excited, Donna, scared. Oh, we've got you, Donna. We have got you. And, you know, fear and excitement are on the same spectrum. Fear is excitement without the breath. That doesn't come from me, by the way. Somebody else said that. Anna, you're feeling committed. Teresa, you're just beginning. It's all good. This is the perfect place to start. Clara, you're feeling hopeful. Jude, you're saying the connection is good there. Great. And like the recording's going to be here in the group, so don't worry about missing anything. You'll be able to catch up. Lisa, you're feeling nervous. You're not alone. You are not alone. I know it can feel edgy, you know, thinking about writing a book, like really stepping into that, but you are absolutely in the right place. Carrie, you're overjoyed. Diana, joyful. Rachel, oh, just realised it was 4 minutes past and hopped on to hear my name. Yes. Judy, scared and excited. Yeah, absolutely. Kelly, nervous. Kirsty saying hello. Carly, stumbling in. Stumbling in is very welcome. Very, very welcome. So, how this experience is going to run over the next 3 days, each day at this time, I'll be coming in live to talk about a different part of the book writing journey. Okay, and oh, Terry, I'm glad it's working now. The connection's better on your laptop. So we are starting at the beginning. Today I'm going to be talking all about like the power of commitment and how to like fully commit to the book that you are called to write and to the author that you are here to be, the author that you already are, whether you've written a book already or not. Like the fact that you are here shows that you are an author. But I'm going to be talking more about that today. Tomorrow is all about how to conceive, like the specific idea or ideas that are wanting to flow through you. And Wednesday is all about how to get into creation mode. So how to actually create and birth your book into the world. And during that, we'll be talking about both like how to create a really powerful dedicated writing practice, but also like some of the nuts and bolts on how to actually bring your book into form. So if you don't know me, I know a lot of you do, and I know some of you, this is your first experience in the Unbound writing world. I will briefly, very briefly, introduce myself. I am Nicola Humber. Hopefully you know that much by now. I am an author myself, author of 3 books so far. Heal Your Inner Good Girl, not Kill Your Inner Good Girl, which somebody thought it was once. Heal Your Inner Good Girl. Unbound and Unbound Writing, how to write the transformational book that you are really here to write, which I know a few of you have read or are reading at the moment. My 4th book, which is in the works right now, is called The Abundant Author, and that has taken me on such a journey. And really that is the whole kind of principle of the Unbound writing approach, is that as we are writing these books, as we are writing these transformational books that we feel called to write, we get to go on a transformational and healing journey ourselves. And I know like so many of you are experiencing or have experienced that already. The invitation is always to go deeper with it, because the more we can like access the fullest, freest expression of who we are and what we're here to share, the more we can remember who we are, and experience that kind of healing and transformation as we are writing and birthing our books. Like our books get infused with this really potent energy. So that is kind of the whole kind of like overview of the Unbound writing approach, which actually came through for me as I was writing and birthing my own books, which led me to become founder of the Unbound Press, which is a soul-led publishing company for magical women writing world-changing books. And yes, I absolutely know that we get to change the world one book at a time. And yeah, I'm a transformational writing mentor. So that's kind of the role that I am in this week for you during the challenge. See me as your own personal writing mentor. As any questions are bubbling up, I will try and answer as many as I can during each of these lives. And certainly, like, I'll be coming into the group at least a couple of times a day to answer any questions. And we may well do like a dedicated Q&A at some point before the group closes. This group will remain open until next Tuesday, November the 28th. And then it will be, I think they call it paused now on Facebook. So you'll still be able to see the content, but you won't be able to post in the group anymore. Let me just catch up. Okay. Yeah. Karen, you're saying all sorts of mixed feelings, but positive ones for sure. Those mixed feelings are completely normal, completely natural. And I guess I want you to know that as we begin this journey together. Like, it probably won't feel completely comfortable all of the time, certainly during your whole book writing experience, but even during these 3 days, there may be points that feel edgy, uncomfortable, like stuff may come up in this space. And the most important thing is to know, like, that doesn't make you wrong. You know, we can feel uncomfortable on our book writing journey, and it doesn't mean we're not meant to write our books or be authors. It's a sign that we are remembering more deeply who we are, that we are kind of expanding into a fuller expression of who we are. So all of you is welcome in this space. All of your feelings are welcome in this space. I want you to know that you are held. Like, it's really important to me in like all of the spaces that I hold, that I've spoken about this recently. It's like, obviously my intention is that this is a safe space for us, but I can't guarantee that, because it might not always feel safe when we're on our book writing journey. You know, you're doing something that only a tiny proportion of the population do. Out of all the people who want to write a book and feel called to write a book, there's only a tiny percentage who actually end up doing that. And that is because it is quite a scary proposition, actually, particularly in this world that we live in, where we receive so many messages about who and how we should be in the world. So the fact that you're here is pretty freaking amazing. And my intention is that this is a brave space for us. This is a space for us to be courageous and to follow our courageous, creative hearts as we navigate this book writing journey together. Amazing. So, Teresa, you feel your book subjects will be completely controversial. That makes me want to know more. Quite often with the books that we are working with at the Unbound Press, you know, they're books that maybe wouldn't be published anywhere else because they are, you know, they're pioneering, they're cutting edge. So like, I'm totally here for these books that are different and maybe controversial. Would love to know more, Teresa, and look forward to finding out more. So, like I said, Clara, throwing the safe version over that edgy edge. Over the edgy edge. We are going over the edgy edge together. Are you with me? Are you with me? Magical ones. So, as I said kind of earlier, I totally not just believe that, no, we get to change the world one book at a time. Like, each of the books that each of us is called to write, like, you'll see some of the Unbound Press books up there behind me on this shelf. My bookcase is kind of bursting at the moment. Yeah, Carrie, grab hands, ladies, let's fly. It's time. It is time. You know, this week we reach our 5th anniversary at the Unbound Press. And I never expected to start a publishing company. I've spoken about this before. Some of you definitely would have heard me speak about this before. but in the, yeah, Trish, yours is there. Yours is there. Absolutely. I was referring to it the other day in the Compelling Confidence group, actually. Um, yeah, they are all up there. I need a bigger bookshelf. But 5 years ago, I had just released my second book, Unbound. Like I said, I had never expected to either be holding space for other women to write their books or certainly to start a publishing company. It's like that was not on my radar at all. In the year before that, I was working with a transformational mentor, and in a visioning session, I actually had like this really clear vision image come through for me, and I don't often get that when I'm visioning or meditating. It's more of a felt sense. But what I could see was a group of women standing around a it was like a lake or some kind of pool, and it was silver. And each of the women had like a silver drop, like of liquid, in her hands. And each one, like one by one, she would kind of bend down to place the drop into this gorgeous silver pool. One by one, each woman adding her silver drop into this lake, into this pool of wisdom, magic, I guess. And the words that came through with that vision were the power to move mountains. Now, at the time, I had no idea what that meant. I mean, I thought, I mean, my work has always been about women being their fullest, freest self. So I thought, well, that's it. Like each woman bringing her fullest, freest self to the world. What I actually see now is like each of those silver drops were our books. Like we are sharing. Each one is part of this greater kind of whole that we are piecing together, like one by one. And that's the way I see the books that are being birthed through the Unbound writing community. Um, Diana is saying, always love hearing this story. Yeah, I always love telling it, actually. I know. And this is the thing, which kind of relates to what we're doing here. Sometimes we can think, I've told that story before. Or, yeah, people, I'm sure they've heard this before from someone else, or maybe they've heard it from me before. I've said it in a different way. And it doesn't matter. Like, we get to tell our stories at different times in different ways. We get to tell the same story. We get to share the same medicine, magic message, because each time actually energetically it will be different. And each time the people, even if somebody's heard it before, like I know a lot of you have, but you would have been different when you were hearing it. So you will experience it. Like our readers, our people will experience what we're sharing in different ways at different times. So we get to trust that. Because for me, it's really important that I shared, like, that's part of the vision. That is part of the vision. That's part of why, you know, I'm here and I've invited all of you to be part of this process, because I want all of us to add our silver drops, because, like, we've got work to do. Like, the world is, quite frankly, a bit of a shit show at the moment. And we need to be bringing our magic. We need to be contributing our piece. And that's what I'm totally here for. And what's dropped in this year, as we're in our 5th anniversary at the Unbound Press, my personal intention is to hold space for 1,000 women to birth their books by May 2025. Now, I'm not sure where that number came from. I'm not sure where that date came from, but it dropped in and I am here for it. And you are part of that. You are part of that. Like, we're at the beginning of that particular evolution of the vision. And what it means is that, you know, I get to show up and work differently. And at the Unbound Press, we get to show up and work in different ways, like work in the same way, but expand into new ways of working. So I will be sharing more about that as we go through the week. Let me just catch up with the comments. So Anna, you say, love that image of adding our silver drops of wisdom and magic into the silver pool. I'm ready to add another drop. Yeah, we don't have to limit ourselves to one drop each either. I know that if you are here, you have more than one book in you. I can pretty much guarantee it. Oh. Kirsty said it makes me feel emotional. Yeah, it is emotional. It makes me feel emotional. Diana, so much work to do. Yes, we have. But we're doing it. We're doing it, aren't we? Carly Joe, my story is taboo. Or again, tell me more. Tell us more. Karen, you've got about a dozen drops to add. Yes, here for it. Totally here for it. Diana, Unbound drops. Yay. Carrie, you're saying the best reason to share it if a story is taboo. Yeah, let's kind of break those taboos. Clara, and it was when you told me there was a huge relief, more than one book. Yeah, exactly. Like we don't have to squeeze it all into one book because you get to write as many as you feel called. Carly Joe, only my therapists have heard mine. Wow. Well, that's powerful. That is powerful. Okay. Right. Let's talk about the focus for day one, which is to commit. To commit. The very first, it's not quite the first stage on the Unbound writing journey, because first we hear the call, or we experience the call, like the call to write our book, whatever it is. We might not know exactly what the book is, but we feel that sense of calling. Then we get to respond to that call, or not. Like you don't have to respond to it. You can just push it away and it can be over there. It probably won't leave you alone though. I just have to say that. My books, certainly my first book was there for so many years before I actually fully committed to it. And that's how we get to respond. We get to commit to the books that we are here to write, and we get to commit to being the author that we are here to be. And this is how we move out of like that procrastination zone and to a place where it feels like a full body yes for our book writing journey. Now, I have a bit of an issue with the word procrastination, even though I've just used it. Terry, the refusal to the call, the heroine's journey. Yeah. Sally, you say, I love the perspective that we all have our own ways to say the same thing and that our experiences are what makes writing about the same thing unique. Yeah, absolutely. No one else can say it in the same way as you. No one else has had the same experience as you. No one else has the same story as you. So my issue with procrastination, like I've just used that word, but often, or certainly sometimes, maybe often when we think we're procrastinating, it's just that maybe the timing isn't quite there yet. Maybe we need to live our books a little bit longer before we write them. Maybe there are ideas that are waiting to drop in. So sometimes we can be really judgy on ourselves because we think we're procrastinating when actually maybe we need to kind of live into our books a little bit more, but we're still in process with them. So you are actually in that creation process, even though it doesn't look like kind of sitting down and writing every day. Yeah, Jude, timing ain't right and it's bubbling under the surface. Yeah, yeah. Like, Karen, to me, procrastination is infancy. Long word for fear. It's been my Achilles heel for many, many years. Grateful to have the awareness to get it out, to get out of it, to take action and or discern when it's not yet time to do something. Yeah, yeah. And the way we find that out is through the doing. Like like as we navigate our book writing journeys and we move into action, there will be times, and I'll talk more about this throughout this week, when it feels like we're not doing anything. And that is a very natural part of the creative cycle. So I'm just kind of mindful of like bandying around the word procrastination, because sometimes we use it as a stick to kind of beat ourselves with, when actually we're just in a living phase of our book, or we're in a phase like the void, where there are, you know, everything is bubbling away under the surface. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So that's just the first piece about commitment. So, what happens when you commit, when you say, yes, I am doing this? You create this energetic container within which your book begins to take form. It's like your book responds to that yes. And this isn't a one off process. Certainly at the beginning of our journey, like there's that initial yes, I am doing this. And I'll speak more about this tomorrow, but my kind of knowing is that your book has an essence, an energy, a spirit of its own. And when you say yes, I'm doing this, I'm committing to it, like your book responds to that. And like the universe responds to that. And within the energetic container, which has been created by your yes, by your sense of commitment, ideas will start to land and drop in. Like maybe you have a conversation with a client or a friend and it gives you like a piece of the puzzle for your book. Maybe a particular memory drops in, you're like, oh yeah, I know, I feel like I'm meant to write about that. And we get to follow these breadcrumbs of inspiration, but that only happens when we actually commit to our process, to our books. Claire, no need to apologise ever. You can catch up with the recording. Terry, what are you saying? I found that lately my book is coming in waves. The stories come in at times and I can't force them out. I have to wait for a dictation or download. Once I allowed it, rather than trying to force it, everything felt better in the flow. Yeah. Karen, love, 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 love the concept of one's book being an energetic container. Seema, hi, just joining and we'll catch the replay for the first part. Loving that our book has a soul and spirit of its own. The knowing is the only thing that has kept me at this first one for 3 years now. I know. Like, I know that feeling. It doesn't mean we have to like the spirit and the soul of our books sometimes. Sometimes they can, you know, it's a relationship like any other. Sometimes it can be challenging, but our books respond to our yes. And that's kind of like the main piece that I used to talk about when I was talking about like this power of commitment and saying yes to our books, because absolutely it is about that, but it really is, and I feel like maybe this is the bigger piece. It's about committing to yourself as the author you are. Yeah, it's about acknowledging that you are an author, because so many of us can resist that. I know I resisted it for the longest time, either owning the fact that I was a writer and or an author. Like it felt again edgy for me to use those words. Like this really is an identity shift, and again our books, not just our books, but like everything responds to that. When our identity shifts from this place of maybe I'll write a book, maybe I could write a book, yeah, I'm not sure, like thinking about it, into yeah, I am an author. And even though maybe I'm at the beginning of my process, like I can begin to feel that knowing in my bones. I can begin to remember that that's what I am, and I get to do it my way. So, how does that land with you? How do you feel about identifying as an author? I know some people here, like some of you already have books out in the world, so I would hope you identify as an author. But even then, actually, you know, how would you feel if somebody asked you, like, what you do about saying, I'm an author? yeah, for many of us, this is a piece of what we do because we hope, we're doing other work in the world. But how would you feel about that? Um, Kirsty, it always felt like I couldn't call myself an author until someone else recognizes it or have written a whole book. Yeah. This is it. Very often we are waiting for someone else to give us permission to call ourselves an author, to say, like, yes, you are an author. You've ticked that box. You may now call yourself that. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. Like, we have to shift into that first. And it's not necessarily even about using the word, but it's about knowing in your being that you are an author. Um, Anna, this time the shift is for me to see myself as a successful fiction author. Yeah. Carolyn, amazing. I am an author. We are authors. Yes, we are. Whatever the collective name is for a group of authors, that's what we are. Julie, you feel imposter syndrome? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You definitely won't be alone in that. Jude, knowing in my bones that is powerful. Yes. Clara, using the word author feels different from the word writer, feels more substantial and also has a responsibility to it. Yeah, I love that sense of responsibility. That feels powerful, really powerful. Jessica makes me feel a bit queasy. That can be a good sign. um, Melissa, I feel I am an author waiting to come out. Diana, I love how it feels expansive and freeing and like an accomplished dream. Yeah, that's it. Like, I would say most most of you are here because this has been a dream, and I asked how long is it that you've been waiting to write a book or wanting to write a book, and for so many it's like, I don't know, as long as I can remember. So we get to yeah, accomplish. I was trying to think of another word. We get to do this for ourselves, and we get to do this for the people who need and want to read our books. Um, Claire, I don't feel good enough to call myself an author, but would like to be one. Yeah, the whole good enough piece, totally get that. Again, I would say that is there for pretty much everyone, and that good enough piece will be there even for the most successful authors in the world. So, like, you're definitely not alone, and also like we get to feel good enough or more good enough through the actual doing, through the actual writing our books, bringing them together, birthing them into the world. Like, I was talking about this, I can't remember when it was, maybe over the weekend. Like, we don't wait until we feel good enough or confident enough. We like do the thing, and that's what helps us to feel more confident or more good enough. And I still don't call myself an author, even though I've published. Yeah. Like, I know you're not the only one. I know you're not the only one, even in this group, who feels like that. So, yeah. Kirsty, I'm actually such a tick a box person, and so far this hasn't worked. So this journey is changing my belief in myself. Yeah, yeah. It's an embodiment piece rather than, because as Anne just shared, even though she's like got a book out in the world, she doesn't feel like it feels edgy to call herself an author. And I know even like when my first book went into the world, Hill, You're in a Good Girl, I probably wouldn't have called myself an author. It would have felt, I would have been like, oh, I don't know, because I self-published, and is it good enough? Am I actually an author? Um, so like really it is this kind of belief and embodiment piece, which we get to cultivate. Like, it's not like a switch, like that we just switch on. Like, we get to cultivate this sense of knowing. Mm. Carly, your dogs want to go out. You've got to look after the dogs. Terry, once I started, I put author on my Instagram, even if it didn't feel like it. I learned to own the identity. Yeah, and this is going to be the invitation today. Not necessarily kind of putting it out there on Instagram, although maybe. But you know, really feeling into, you know, who are you as an author, as a writer? Yeah. How can you commit to yourself more fully as the author you're here to be, as the author you already are? So, you know, what is your identity as an author? What kind of author are you? You know, what are you here to share? What are you passionate about? How do you show up as an author? If you kind of feel into it when you are showing up, like online, on social media, in person, like in your work, if you allow yourself to step into that identity as the author you are, how does that shift things? Does it shift things? I know for me, it was such a sense. I talked about this, Seema. You would have heard me talk about this recently. But when you know, I actually gave myself permission when people asked, like, what do you do, to say I'm an author. It just felt so freeing. Because people get it. People get it. People understand that. Whereas sometimes with the work we do, they don't really get what we're up to. So it's a really powerful thing. Jude, I relate to this, Kirsty. There's a deeper, authentic sense to that word in this group. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you're experiencing it like that. Seema, I feel like an author, but if I say it to others or post it, I can hear the question, where's your book? And then I feel like a fraud. Whoops. I know. I know. And it's perfectly it's perfect to say, yeah, I'm writing my first book at the moment. It's coming out like next year, hopefully, or you know, maybe in 2020, whatever it is, whatever sense you have around the timeline. Of course. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens. You're an author, you are writing your book. That's what authors do. So you just get to answer that question. Yeah. Terry, I may not say it out loud in public, but it's there in print. Judy, Google calls me an author, but I don't feel like one. Seems too grown up somehow. Yeah, there is something kind of mature about it, which I'm here for that. Do you know what? And this is I think it's a kind of a good girl piece, that inner good girl piece. Like one that we are often waiting for permission to do what we are absolutely here to do. Two, that we never quite feel kind of like grown up enough. Yeah. Um like we kind of keep this part within us that's girlish and like, you know, trying to figure it out, trying to get it right. It's like you're you are a grown up. It doesn't mean that you don't get to be playful and childlike, but you are a freaking grown up, so you can own that. And I think it's I feel like it's required of us actually to like step into this, like to take ourselves freaking seriously. And I feel quite emotional as I say that because I recognize that a lot of the time, you know, I can feel like that, like, oh, you know, just skirting around the edges, playing around the edges. But no, we get to take ourselves and what we're here to do seriously. Period. Emma, feeling into it. I'm healing my divine masculine structures here, being able to hold myself in a committed way that creates, that honors my sacred feminine to love, flow, write, and be. Yeah, I pulled a card for myself earlier. One of the cards I pulled for myself was honor the masculine. So it really is like there's something about that kind of like seriousness, that grown up piece, that piece that's that part that's or the energy that's there to support us, like to support the feminine, like, you know, really allowing ourselves to be held in that. And I know that's within us. Yeah, there's no one else. Like, not that we don't get to be supported and have space held for us, yeah, but we get to provide that to ourselves as well. Siobhan, you're saying it substantially shifts things for me. Thank you. Look, shifts, not shifts. Like, I can't see. I haven't got my glasses on, so you know. Um, Jude, something shifted recently about now not needing permission from others, and it's so freeing. Yeah. Karen, I definitely feel like I'm a transformational author. It must be the Scorpio in me. Um, he turned 53 yesterday. While I don't have an academic PhD, I would say my experiences and healing through the years have granted me a PhD in life. Yes, definitely with you on that one. Anna, this phase in the world is all about stepping into our self-sovereignty as a writer, healer, coach, etc. Yeah, self-sovereignty. I love that. I love that way of expressing it. I love that. So my invitation to you today, like each day, there's going to be a little bit of home, I'm not going to call it homework, home play. And it's always an invitation. Yeah. And there are two pieces to it. Like the first one is, you know, that's the main one. Um, and then the second one is if you want to take it a little bit further. Uh, just loving the chat. Carrie, I'm a 53-year-old Scorpio with that same feeling. Patricia, yes, Anna, I can identify with that. We need to step up. It's a courageous thing we are doing. It really is. And look, Trish, like your book is out in the world, like your first book. Like that's huge. It's huge when we allow ourselves to do that. Um, Karen, love this, Anna. I'm training to be a coach right now. Yeah. Like I feel like all of us are stepping more deeply, more fully into the work that we're here to do. Well, that's what the invitation is. Oh. Yeah. So, home play for today. Your mission, if you choose to accept it. I feel like I want to sneeze, but it's not quite coming. So, the first part of this is what's one thing. Victoria, I'm so excited to finally step into my author self. Well, being here is a huge part of it. Like your inner author is definitely responding to the vibe here. Like I keep getting distracted and I so first part of the home plate, what's one thing you can commit to today to embody the author you are here, the embody to embody the author you are. I was going to say you are here to be, but you already are. So what is one thing that's going to help you to do that even a little bit more, to embody the author you are? So it might be like committing to a dedicated writing practice. Maybe you say over the next kind of 21, 30 days, you're going to write a little bit every day. It might be, as Terry mentioned earlier, kind of calling yourself author in your bio, maybe on Instagram or Facebook, like changing the, what's the piece on your email, like the signature piece to say you're an author. It might be something like that. It might be like creating a space for yourself within your home, like a dedicated writing space, somewhere that's for you as the author you are. Emma, claiming it online, sharing some posts about my commitment. Wow. The second part of the home play, because the first piece is, you know, is for you. Like one thing. I want you to just think of one thing or feel into one thing that's going to help you feel more embodied as the author you are. The second piece is sharing online on social media, in an email, in an art, like blog, whatever you want to do, about writing your book and owning the fact that you're an author. Yeah. So letting people know what you're doing. So Seema, what you were saying earlier, yeah, letting people know you're an author and that you're writing your book. So that is the second part to it. So what comes up? Are there any like immediate ideas that come up about the one thing that you personally can do to like commit to today, really harnessing the power of that commitment to embody the author you are? What is going to support you with that? And if you don't know straight away, that's fine. I'm sure there will be ideas shared here in the group. And please do post in the group once you know what your one thing is, what you are committing to. It's a really powerful way. It's a really powerful way to amplify that sense of commitment. Clara, authorization. Say some more about that. Emma, love it. Let's support each other. You're sharing your Instagram profile. Amazing. Like totally up for that. Kirsty, collaboration between my Reiki and my writing. Amazing. Yes. Like it's bringing our author self like into what we're doing. You know, the rest of the work that we're doing. They get to co-create. Trish, a page a day for the next 30 days is one idea. Amazing. Like I know, like for many of you, like an issue is finding time or space for your writing, and we kind of don't get to find that time or space unless we commit to it. And again, we'll be talking more about this during the week, but it's not just magically going to appear. So a question that I often kind of invite Unbound writers to use is like each day, rather than going, am I going to write today? It's like, when am I going to write today? And that really shifts things, because it's like, even if I can just find like 5 or 10 minutes, I know that my writing practice is non-negotiable. Now this, I kind of recommend this kind of like daily writing commitment, not to be like forevermore, but just, you know, for a relatively short amount of time, because otherwise it just feels like perhaps too much of it feels too rigid. So that feels perfect. That feels perfect. Oh, look at all these amazing ideas. Karen, set a date in the calendar to get started and check in with my accountability partners. Amazing. Kelly, I've been blogging about my family adventures for about 7 years, but have been contemplating a Substack about slow and connected living here on the Ards Peninsula. Oh, that sounds amazing. So, and yeah, and if you're starting a Substack or a blog, you know, in your bio, in your introduction for that piece, like calling yourself an author, because you are. Anna, creating a dedicated writing space in my own for writing sounds like a really powerful thing to do. Siobhan, sign up for the word of the day, so I start increasing my lexicon. You're kind of honing your craft. I love that. Jude, next 21 days, making 15 minutes each day, writing commitment, putting up on my Insta account to post about being an author. Yes, it's bringing all the ingredients of all we are together. A page a day for the next 30 days sounds good. 2, we'll have a feel into that one. Yeah, absolutely feel into it. Clara, giving myself permission to say I am an author. It's in the word authorization. Exactly. That's what we are doing. To authorize myself to bring my writing higher up on my task priority list. Yeah, because when you know you're an author, like the writing's always going to be up there. And this is the thing, this is a key piece of really creating time and space for our books. Like if you don't see yourself, if you don't experience yourself as an author, it's always going to be, oh, it's a little side project over here, rather than being at the forefront of what you do. It doesn't have to be the only thing that you're doing, but it's a really key piece of what you're here to do. And if you are here in this group, it is. Like it's a really important part of what you're here to do. And launching talks and workshops on the book I'm writing about. Oh my goddess. Emma, would anyone like to do accountability check-in Zoom calls, maybe twice a month? Great idea. Funny you should say that, Emma. There might be something coming up around that. Something new. Clara, accountability and support one another. Yes, yes, yes. Fantastic. Fantastic. Lots of ideas. So keep sharing your ideas. And if you do share something more widely on social media, online, please do like share it here in the group as well. And also, if you're sharing on social media, please do tag me in at Nicola Humber, because then I can share your magic more widely as well. Amazing. Amazing. My loves, I think that is it for today. Are there any questions that are bubbling up before we finish? Oh, thanks so much for Emma for creating that layer of community. Yes, yes, yes. And also, like I said, there might be something new coming where we get to write together. Fantastic. Well, look, if any questions do come up, please do pop them. Yeah, everyone is amazing. Like, look at the magic in this group. It blows my mind. Yeah, let's do a follow thread. If someone wants to set that up, create a post. And then everyone can share their Instagram or whatever you want to share. Diana, a lot of things are happening to me and everything is happening so fast. I just had my spiritual awakening this past June. Wow. I know I'm supposed to write, but I'm not ready at all. I believe a lot of my writing will come from what I'm experiencing now. I can commit to journaling about this every day through the end of the year. Yeah, kind of capturing like your experience. That's going to be really, really powerful. Moje, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Please do let me know if I'm not. But you put, as a novice, what is a good way to start writing? We'll be talking a little bit more about what to actually write about tomorrow. What I would recommend is creating a like dedicated space for your writing. So whether that is a like journal, that you handwrite in, or if you prefer to type like a document on your laptop, on your PC, whatever it is, and just get into a regular habit of writing, if not every day, then maybe it's like 3 days a week. And each day when you come to the page, like asking the question, like, what wants to come through me right now? What am I called to write about? And see what comes through. If it feels like, oh, I'm not sure what I'm meant to write about, like writing about your experience, so what's coming up in your life at the moment, and maybe relating that back to past experiences. Is there anything in particular you feel called to write about? Day, I don't know. I feel like I'm really not saying your name correctly and I apologize. Jude, you're saying it certainly is fast at the moment. Yeah, it is. Like, but our writing is something that can actually anchor us in these times when things are moving really fast. Lisa, amazing. Thank you so much, Nicola Humber. You're so welcome. Carrie, once again, such an inspiring conversation. Yeah, that's what happens when we come together, isn't it? So, so powerful. So look, any questions that bubble up, or any follow-up questions, post them here in the group. Do tag me in, because Facebook is weird and I don't always see everything. You know what it's like. So please feel free to tag me, and I will come back and answer them. And I'll be back. Carrie is still working on Central Soulshine, amazing. And I will be back tomorrow for our day 2 live. I look forward to hearing like what one thing you're going to do to commit, and embody the author you are, and hopefully seeing some of your shares on social media. All right, my loves, I'll see you soon. Have a wonderful rest of the day. And yeah, let's get to it.